All right, guys, so we're live. I haven't been live in a while and haven't posted, I think, in a couple of weeks actually. So I decided to just pop the camera open after my workout and answer a very common question I keep getting is, Nick, what is the best martial art for self-defense? And it's a tough one, and I'll talk a little bit about the industry and my experience as well over the years. When I started martial arts, I started with Kung Fu. And at a very young age, I learned that I was like, I can't remember, 8, 9, 10, whatever, when I started doing Kung Fu. I quickly realized that there was a lot of stuff that made sense in theory, that worked in a dojo, but didn't actually apply in real life. At a young age, I figured this out. Later on, I went and I did some Taekwondo, I did some other martial arts, I did some boxing, some kickboxing, different reality-based self-defense. And then what really changed my perspective, and this is what my experience comes from and what I teach from, is when I started working in the clubs. When I started working in nightclubs, I quickly realized that there's a lot of stuff that I learned that I never used, I'm never gonna use, that I didn't really apply in real life, and I had to eliminate a lot of the shit that I was taught and conditioned to believe what works over what doesn't work, and then basically kind of chop away and create my own system for what worked best for me, for my height and my size. What happened from there is, obviously working in the clubs, almost every, threatening or to dealing to the guy who's on drugs, fucked up, and actually wants to hurt you. And I experienced all of those, and I quickly saw, I had to eliminate what worked and what didn't work, and then train the shit out of what did work. So a lot of what I teach in my system, and I wouldn't even say my system, it's bits and pieces of a lot of stuff that I put together, is what worked for me. Then I figured out what worked best and what I needed, and I trained the shit out of it. I always say it's not about training more, it's about learning less and training more. I don't need to learn 15 kicks. 2, 3 kicks, got it. 5, 6 strikes, got it. 2, 3 blocks, got it. And then you just train the shit out of it over and over and over. And then you do it in scenario training. You do it in reality. You do real scenario training, and you get to explore what works and what doesn't work for yourself. And the more different type of scenarios you do, the better you're going to get as well at being able to assess a situation. And then being able to say, what are my levels of, what is my greatest chance of survival out of this particular fight or attack? By doing a lot of scenarios, you get to figure this out. You're better off doing it in scenario training than in real life. So I'm kind of going a little bit off subject. Guys, before I continue this, go visit my brand new website, nickdrossos.com. I'm offering one-on-one online coaching, self-defense, fitness. I have my hero program. I also have an instructor course coming up in April, level 1, and a level 2 in June. So go check that out at nickdrossos.com. If you buy the program, you're also going to get a 1-hour coaching call for free with me. So go check that out. I'll put the link in the comment box. Now let me answer some of your questions. Okay, so let's look at who will come to Toronto. Go check out my website. Send me a message, because I have a few people in Toronto that I have to go visit. So here's my trick, and here's what I'm gonna tell you, because I don't want to tell you this martial art's good, this martial art. A lot of martial arts have, some good principles. So the idea for you is to be able to take the different martial arts and be able to say, okay, grappling. I love grappling. I think grappling is great. People argue me, well, on the street, I'm just gonna grapple. Try that in a nightclub, try that in a bar, try that in the staircase, try that in your car, try that against multiple attackers. Try that with a weapon and then tell me if grappling works. Until you've done this full out, it's just bullshit, right? So I know when I hear people talk like that, I know they have no experience in real life situation. They might talk about fighting in the ring, but fighting in the ring and fighting in the street are two different animals. I know, I've experienced them both. The adrenaline different, the mindset is different, the fear is completely different, the rules of engagement are different. So the idea that you're gonna fight in the ring like you fight in the street, it's impossible. Martial arts, MMA would combine the technique. Okay, so let's talk about MMA. MMA as a whole is the most complete. What I like about MMA, they've actually cut out all the, all the garbage or all the shit of all the martial arts, and they put something together. However, I mean, when I'm eye gouging, I learned this when I was doing Kung Fu, Tiger Claw. It's the same principle, right? There's things that the base were martial arts, and it evolved to MMA, which is today. Look at MMA, what it was 15 years ago and what it is today. It's two different types of MMA. The fighters are better, the systems change, the way they train and how they put it together is completely different, because they realized that it wasn't complete. And again, look at what they did after. They created weight divisions and classes like in boxing. Why? Because they know that size makes a difference in most cases. What do you think of Jeet Kune Do and Krav Maga? Okay. How are you 1,000? How are you 100? How are you 100,000? Thank you. We look at Krav Maga, and I've trained with some of the top in Krav Maga. So I'm going to give you guys a basic tool that you're going to use for any martial art that you see, and then you're going to be able to decide yourself whether it's real. Anytime you have a sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, once you see that, you know it's bullshit. Okay? Why? Because the idea that your attacker will react exactly that same way for 5 sequences is impossible, unless you were fighting somebody who was programmed to react exactly the way you were going to defend or attack. So because you're going to go preemptive, and this is what I teach, you get a 2-3 second leeway, which is a 2 or 3 second strikes prior to when he reacts. Something that requires more than 2 or 3 strikes, you know it's bullshit. It won't work, right? So is Krav Maga effective in the street? Krav Maga does have some good principles that I like, and I've taken and I've taught, but they also have some techniques and some moves that to me are completely unrealistic. It's also, the thing is, it's become a business. Every instructor has taken it and taught it his own way. So when I get some of the Krav Maga guys and I get to do some full out scenarios with them, they get to experience that, they're not pulling out their 6-7 moves before, I react. I react with the second or third if they decide to go preemptive on what they're doing. The mindset is key, guys. TRX is great. I love using the TRX. You guys can see them over here. I train with them. Let's talk a little bit about conditioning. You can't neglect conditioning. Yes, I'm Greek. Conditioning is huge. Conditioning is your engine. Your mindset and your conditioning is your engine, but they're tapped together. You want to create a solid, strong mindset, you might need to tap into your body. You need to create a strong mindset, use your body to tap into your mindset. It's connected. Whichever one is going to help you lead the other one, just go with it, right? If you feel like you start exercising, you get bigger, you get more confident, well, that's going to help your mindset. You start training and your mindset starts, you start building more confidence, and then you start training harder, well, your mindset navigates your body. Whichever one it is fine. As long as they come together and you build that confidence and the proper mindset that you can defend yourself. So, people ask about Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do has some great principles, like, the sticky hands and keeping your hands up and striking. There is some good principles, but I've trained with some of the Jeet Kune Do guys. They're a little bit too linear. It's also, sometimes it gets a little bit too fancy. They especially when it comes to weapons. You look at MMA. MMA is great, but you're not gonna punch your way out of a knife fight. You're not gonna roundhouse a knife out of a guy's hand. It could happen, but is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. So that's something I always say when I teach self-defense. Is it possible? Yeah, anything is possible. So I think that that's something you need to ask yourself when you're learning self-defense. So really, and here's the thing, guys, when you're looking at a video, look at everything together, right? Forget about his reputation, his title, his name tag, where he's trained, what he's done. Look at the content, because I'm not gonna say any names, but I've seen some really shitty guys. Some great fighters teach some really shit self-defense. Where I'm like, okay, your weight increases when you have a knife. When you have a knife, your weight increases 400 pounds. I can also practice so much from snap kick. So, you have to, you guys, this industry, believe it or not, and I did a podcast with McDojo Life, which I love. They do some great videos. And you gotta look at the content and start thinking for yourself. Would this work? Wouldn't this work? You gotta test it out yourself, full out, to see if it actually works in real life. You gotta do scenarios. What age would I recommend? I started my son, I think he was 6 when he started jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I started him with jiu-jitsu. I like judo or jiu-jitsu for kids because that's when they learn how to fall, how to grab, how to clinch, how to take somebody down or how to fall if somebody's taking them down. So jiu-jitsu great. It's my favorite because they're actually learning how to contact and how to stick and how to feel comfortable when you're being in that close. Your techniques. I think McDojo should be legally accountable if people get wrecked for using their techniques. About Aikido. Oh, you see, okay, let's look at Aikido. Aikido has some good principles where you're using your opponent's energy. But there's also shit when I've seen it. It's one guy against 5 and everybody's flipping over and they're coming at you at a certain way. So I don't think that, the principle of using your opponent's energy is great. But instead of throwing him, as I'm throwing, why not close outline him? Why not strike him? Why just, and when you look at them, they're all coming in at a certain, and it's not that easy to flip somebody over when you get his wrist. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? That's choreography shit. Is the dim mac. Yeah, baby. You are next. I break you like I break your friend. Huh. That was actually one of the first movies that got me into martial arts, Bloodsport. That was one of my favorite movies. You could bite, man. Whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever. Look, guys, when we talk about self-defense, guys, awareness is the fucking key. It's about survival. Very good point, man. R sign 100, you're right. At the end, it's about survival, you know what I mean? I know people who didn't know any self-defense and were able to defend themselves in a street fight. And they just, that will to want to fight and survive. That's all it is, At the end, it's the difference between fighting and surviving. Surviving means maybe you got stabbed, maybe you got jumped, maybe you took a beating, but you got home, alive. Even if you had a couple of pieces of you missing, you still gave it a fight. And that's what it is. Traditional karate was created thousands of years ago for the type of violence and the type of fighting and the type of, people would get in stands and fight. Today, that's not how people fight. So, there's principles that we still use today, whether we want to admit it or not. But as a system, is it complete? No, I don't think so. Kung Fu I feel is the best. I did Kung Fu, man. I did Kung Fu for years. And I knew a guy recently who trained with me and he went to do Kung Fu and he goes up to me, Nick, he did like a year and a half Kung Fu. And he goes, I realized, man, it looks good. It's nice. But I trained with you and I know it won't work. So what do you think is the best possible way of dealing with a gun, knife, blunt object? Is it possible to control your emotions? Is it possible to control your emotions? Well, anything's possible. Are you trained for it? So when you do enough scenarios, enough fighting, you learn how to control them. You, you know, and I always remember I go back to one of the first big fights I got into working in the club. I lost complete control. I was screaming, I was yelling. It's because I was scared. With time, I learned how to control my emotions. I learned how to breathe, to stay focused, to stay in the present moment, to be as relaxed as possible, to not question myself, and just be like, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. That's the way you gotta go. Whatever happens, happens. Like, the idea is like, motherfucker, if I'm gonna go down, I'm taking as many of you as I can, and that's it. Look, if Kung Fu works for you, that's great, man. Like, I mean, at the end, I like Lethe too. I started watching, what's his name? Shit, I forgot his name. Leduc. Man, I love that clinch, bam, that headbutt. I fucking love that shit. I teach that shit. I always say, guys, once you come in, boom, throw that headbutt, throw that elbow, come inside and finish the fight. You know what I mean? That shit is really good. It works in the street, throwing that head in there. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Guys, go visit my brand new website, nickdrossos.com. I have one-on-one coaching, self-defense tutorial, brand new fight analysis, so many videos in there, as well as a women's self-defense section. And I'm gonna have my instructor course in Montreal in April, my level 1, my level 2 in July. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. As you guys could see, this video doesn't get a lot of views because YouTube is shadow banning me. They're basically fucking my channel, but hey, I don't even think I could say that word anymore. There's pretty much nothing I could do. I can't use the word bully. I can't use the word street fight. Yeah, Lethway is good on, I like it for self-defense. There's a touch of Muay Thai in there, obviously, but I love being able to throw those headbutts. I've been watching 10 years. Wow, man, Mr. Keys, thanks for watching, man. 10 years, that's pretty cool, guys. I did Muay Thai boxing. Like, that's a good combination. Thai boxing, kickboxing. Thanks, guys. It means a lot that you guys support me because, like I said, obviously I've lost that support from YouTube. They don't promote me anymore. They don't do much for me anymore. So, but I still make videos and a lot of my new content is on my website. Sorville, thank you, my man. And you guys could go check me out as well on Instagram. And still training hard at 42, guys. Still there, pumping it out, even though I have some injuries. I have my meniscus, I had broken ribs. Then I had a bronchitis. I've had my fair share of bad luck in being sick. Shadow boxing and shadow wrestling, that's fucking awesome, man. If you don't have a partner, shadow box, shadow fight, work the bag, work on your conditioning. Point a gun, yeah, twice. I had a guy put a gun to my head once and flash a gun. And in both times, guys, I ain't gonna bullshit. I shit my pants and I talk my way out of it. Wow, thanks, Petros. If you're interested, go check out my new program. It's on nickdrossos.com. I think your pedicure. Yeah, you should get a Bob dummy. It's freaking awesome, Mark, and I love it, man. I got it right here. I train with it almost every day. I put on the weight vest. I do a lot of stuff with it, so that's it, how to deal with a knife attack. I have so many videos on knife defense. You guys could go check those out. I don't put much anymore, again, because YouTube keeps not sharing my videos. Tips and tricks, I worded that poorly. Muay Thai. I love Muay Thai, guys. Thai boxing is great, Tomorrow I might do another live with Davis, do a little training. Ever face a knife attacker? No, I've never faced a knife attacker. I have seen people get stabbed working in the club, but I've never faced a knife. Like one-on-one where the person actually flashed it at me, so. And that's it, guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching, guys. Share the video, share my website, check me out on Instagram, and some good. Try to put it. All right, guys. I'm out.